Welcome to today's podcast, Live Flow Nexus, episode 22. The things we keep putting off. This episode I kept 1 week. There's a word we use constantly someday. Someday I will travel. Someday I will learn guitar. Someday I will call that friend. Someday I will start writing. Someday I will slow down. Someday I'll finally have enough money. Someday I will get my life together. Which is a fantastic word because someday requires absolutely no commitment. It's basically the emotional version of putting something in your Amazon cart. You feel productive, you bought nothing. I found my old somedays list. I was cleaning out a drawer recently and found a list I would written years ago. It had everything: places I wanted to visit, books I wanted to read, things I wanted to learn, people I wanted to call, projects I wanted to start. I looked at it and thought, oh wow, past me had plans. Then I looked closer. A lot of those things still hadn't happened. For about 5 seconds, I felt guilty. Then I realized something much more interesting. Some of those weren't dreams anymore. They were just leftovers. They belonged to an older version of me. And nobody tells you that about procrastination. Sometimes you don't just postpone something, you eventually stop wanting it. There's the sneaky part about waiting. The guitar sits in the corner, the trip stays on the list, the book stays on the shelf, the phone number stays in your contacts, and eventually, someday, quietly becomes probably never. Not because you failed, life just kept moving, which is honestly kind of rude. There's always a reason to wait. I know a restaurant owner who has been running the same little place for decades. One night I asked him, do you ever want to retire? He laughed. Of course. Then he looked around the restaurant, but I haven't decided when. And I thought, yep, there it is. Because there is always a reason to wait. Work is busy, money is tight, weather sucks, you're tired, you need more time, you need a better plan, you need to feel ready, you need to watch 17 more YouTube videos first. You know, research. The problem with ready, we imagine readiness as this magical feeling. Like one morning you will wake up and suddenly think, today I am fearless, emotionally stable, financially responsible, and weirdly good at guitar. That day has never happened for me. And I'm starting to suspect it doesn't exist. Most meaningful things begin with uncertainty. The first step feels awkward. The first conversation feels uncomfortable. The first attempt is usually terrible. And then you do it again. And eventually, it becomes part of your life. Courage is usually much less dramatic. We love stories when someone makes a giant decision. The guilt, the quit, the move, they start the company, they change their entire life. Cue inspirational music, but real courage is often much smaller. It's let's see what happens. That's it. Send the message, buy the ticket, open the notebook, walk through the door. You don't need a 5 year strategy. You need one slightly uncomfortable Tuesday. I got tired of saying someday. For years, I kept saying I wanted to visit a particular city. Every time someone asked, when are you going? I'd say, someday. Eventually, I got tired of hearing myself say it, so I went. And naturally, it was not perfect. The hotel room was tiny, it rained, I got lost. I ate at a restaurant that I'm pretty sure was personally offended by the concept of seasoning. And it was great because real life isn't cinematic. This is another trap. We wait for the perfect version, perfect weather, perfect timing, perfect company, perfect budget, perfect photograph. But life doesn't work like that. Sometimes the best memories include missed trains, cheap meals, getting lost, bad weather, plans falling apart. That's what makes them yours. The story isn't everything went perfectly. The story is everything went wrong and somehow that made it better. The internet makes waiting even easier. This might be one of the biggest problems now. You can spend 6 hours researching a place you never visit, watch 40 videos about a hobby you never start, save 900 recipes you never cook, build playlists for emotions you haven't experienced yet. You can become an expert at planning your life without actually living it. And the worst part, it feels productive. At some point, the map has to become a road. Planning is useful. I love planning, but eventually the map has to become a road. At some point, you have to close the browser, but put the phone down, leave the house, try the thing badly, preferably, because badly is underrated. Badly means you are actually doing it. I don't want a life full of plans. I don't want to spend my life collecting possibilities. I want some of them to become memories, not all of them. That's impossible. Some dreams will disappear, some interest will change, some things will turn out to be completely overrated. That's fine. But I want enough of my plans to become real that eventually I can look back and say, yeah, I actually went. Someday is usually just we are wearing a calendar. Think about it. Someday sounds hopeful, but sometimes what we are really saying is, I'm scared to choose a date because once you choose a date, it becomes real. You can fail, you can look stupid, you can spend money, you can discover you don't even like the thing. But that's the price of finding out. So pick one thing, not everything. Please don't turn this into another productivity challenge. We have enough of those. You don't need a 47-step morning routine called becoming the ultimate human before 7:15 a.m. Just pick one thing you have been putting off. Call the person, buy the tickets, open the notebook, take the class, cook the meal, go somewhere you have been talking about going. Start badly, start scared, start without knowing exactly how it ends. Because future you isn't coming to save you. This is the slightly annoying part. We keep imagining some future version of ourselves. Future me will have more money. Future me will have more confidence. Future me will have more time. Future me will finally be organized. Future me will totally remember where I put that thing. Maybe, but maybe future you is just you with another calendar. At some point, somebody has to begin, and that person is you. Today, the blank page. Tonight, there's a notebook sitting beside me. Blank page. Nothing impressive. No masterpiece. Just an empty space waiting for a sentence. And maybe that's what life gives us. Not giant open doors every morning, just little spaces. A morning, an afternoon, an evening. And we decide what goes inside them. Some become ordinary days, some become stories, and we usually don't know which is which until years later. Final thought. So don't wait for someday to become your whole life. You don't need to chase every dream. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You don't need to turn your life into a motivational montage. Just stop postponing the things that still matter. Pick one, give it a date, then go find out what happens. Because someday isn't a destination, it's just a word. And today is actually on the calendar. So give it something worth remembering. Thanks for spending another evening with me. Until next time, don't chase every dream. Just stop postponing the ones that still matter. I'll see you down the road.